Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that everything you believe about yourself, your values, your beliefs, even the emotions you think are uniquely yours, might not actually be yours at all. What if your whole sense of self was just a carefully constructed illusion? What if the person you think you are has been shaped and molded by forces far beyond your control? And what if the real you, the true self buried deep under layers of conditioning and self-deception, is someone you've never actually met? Today, we're diving headfirst into the depths of the human mind, guided by the groundbreaking ideas of Friedrich Nietzsche and the unsettling truths revealed by psychology. By the end of this journey, you'll uncover some shocking insights about your own mind, insights that most of society would rather you ignore. And trust me, the final revelation is the most powerful of all. Most people live their entire lives inside this illusion. From the moment we're born, we're told who to be. We learn quickly how to act in ways that get us approval, and we hide away the parts of ourselves that might get us rejected. We shape ourselves to fit into our families, our schools, our workplaces, and we convince ourselves that this is just how life works. But Nietzsche warned us, this isn't truly living. It's just unconscious repetition, where people follow inherited values and behaviors without ever stopping to question them. So let me ask you, are you really in control of your life? Or are you just playing a role that was assigned to you long ago? Nietzsche's philosophy challenges us to peel back these illusions and face the scary and liberating truth of who we really are. He talked about the Ubermensch, or higher self, a version of you that only emerges when you're brave enough to tear down your false identities and create your own meaning. But this kind of transformation doesn't come easy. It demands a deep, honest confrontation with the parts of yourself you've spent years ignoring or denying. Let's talk about the shadow, a concept that Carl Jung later developed in detail, but which actually has roots in Nietzsche's thinking. The shadow represents everything inside us that we refuse to acknowledge. Our hidden fears, our suppressed desires, the thoughts we never dare to say out loud. These aren't just minor quirks. These are the parts of ourselves we label as unacceptable, so we lock them away in the unconscious just to keep functioning in society. But here's the dangerous part. Ignoring the shadow doesn't make it disappear. In fact, it just makes it stronger. Have you ever caught yourself saying or doing something that felt completely out of character, even shocking to you? Maybe you lashed out in anger, felt a wild impulse, or found yourself drawn to something you know is destructive. That's your shadow making itself known. It's the part of you that refuses to be ignored, the part that will erupt in unexpected ways if you don't recognize and integrate it. Nietzsche understood this long before psychologists put it into words. He warned that people who refuse to confront their own darkness are doomed to be ruled by it. If you deny your inner chaos, you'll eventually become a victim of it. Just think about the people who are always trying to be good, the ones who suppress their own desires, avoid conflict, and constantly seek approval. Often these are the people who end up exploding with rage or falling into deep despair. The more we try to bury our darker nature, the more it festers beneath the surface, just waiting for a chance to break free. Society teaches us to reject our inner chaos. We're told to be polite, to fit in, to hide our aggression, our ambition, and our primal instincts. But Nietzsche argued that these instincts aren't evil. In fact, they're part of what makes us powerful. The real danger isn't in their existence, it's in our refusal to acknowledge them. When we deny our true nature, we end up living a double life. We show one face to the world, while secretly battling another version of ourselves inside. This constant internal war leaves us drained, anxious, dissatisfied, and sometimes even leads us down the path of self-destruction. So what's the way forward? Nietzsche's answer was radical self-awareness. To become who we truly are, we have to be willing to stare into the abyss of our own minds without flinching. We have to be ready to question everything we've learned about right and wrong, about success and failure, about ourselves and the world. But let me warn you, this path isn't for the faint of heart. It takes real courage, the kind most people never find. If you choose to walk this path, you'll face discomfort, uncertainty, and even moments of existential crisis. But if you stick with it, you'll emerge transformed. As we go deeper into this journey, we'll uncover three powerful principles that can permanently change how you see yourself. The third one is the most shocking. And once you understand it, you'll never look at life the same way again. Most people believe that their ultimate goal should be to find peace within themselves, that inner harmony is the highest achievement. But Nietzsche saw things differently. He understood that every human being is locked in a battle, a struggle between who we truly are and who we've been conditioned to be. Think about it. How many times have you felt like you were being pulled in two different directions? One part of you wants to break free, to explore, to take risks, but another part clings to comfort, to routine, to the safety of what's familiar. That inner conflict, it's not a sign that you're weak, it's a sign that you're alive. It's the tension between who you've been and who you could become. Nietzsche believed that the greatest individuals aren't the ones who eliminate this conflict. They're the ones who embrace it. They channel it into personal growth instead of letting it paralyze them. He wrote, "You must have chaos within you to give birth to a dancing star." The person who seeks total inner peace is usually the one who's running from themselves, trying to silence the very forces that could lead them to transform. So the first step isn't about seeking harmony. It's about accepting the war inside you. It's about realizing that yourself isn't a single fixed identity. It's a battlefield of competing desires, fears, and instincts. Your job isn't to suppress this battle, but to harness it, to use it as fuel for your own evolution. Most people are terrified of change because change means destruction. It means letting go of outdated identities, walking away from toxic relationships, and leaving behind unfulfilling careers. Not because those things bring joy, but because the unknown feels scarier than the discomfort we already know. We mistake being comfortable for being happy. We confuse security with meaning. But Nietzsche was absolutely clear. To become something greater, you have to be willing to destroy who you were. You have to be willing to shatter the self-image that's been handed to you, to tear down the illusions that have kept you trapped. This is why Nietzsche described the Ubermensch not as a final form or a perfect state, but as a never-ending process of becoming, of constant self-overcoming. Imagine a sculptor staring at a block of marble. If he's afraid of breaking or chipping away, he'll never create anything new. But if he has the courage to destroy and reshape, he can reveal something magnificent. Your identity is that block of marble. The question is, are you willing to destroy parts of yourself in order to reveal what lies beneath? This is where the real pain comes in, because there's no getting around it. Destruction is painful. Letting go of who you used to be means stepping right into the unknown. It means accepting the fact that you don't fully understand who you are yet. And this is where most people stop. They feel the fear, the discomfort, the sense of loss, and they run right back to old habits, old beliefs, old patterns. Even an unsatisfying life can feel safer than an uncertain one. But for the few who push forward, who dare to keep going, something incredible happens. Transformation. The old self dies and something new begins to take shape. And that brings us to Nietzsche's third and most dangerous principle. This is the idea that society desperately wants you to ignore, because once you understand it, you become truly unpredictable. You break free from the rules that keep people obedient and easy to control. Here it is. You are not a fixed being. You are a creator of meaning. Most people go through life believing that meaning is something you discover, like it's buried out there somewhere, waiting to be found. We're taught to search for purpose in religion, in tradition, in the expectations of others, hoping that something outside of ourselves will finally give us the answers we crave. But Nietzsche shattered this illusion with one of his most famous declarations: God is dead. He didn't mean this as a simple rejection of religion, but as a statement that all the old sources of meaning, the external systems that once guided humanity, no longer hold the same power. The comfort of absolute truths has collapsed, and in its place, a much scarier realization emerges. Meaning doesn't exist until you create it for yourself. This is what makes Nietzsche's third principle so dangerous, Because the moment you realize that nothing has meaning except the meaning you give it, you become free. Free from society's expectations, free from the limitations that have been programmed into your mind, free from the need for approval or validation. But with this freedom comes a new kind of responsibility. If there's no cosmic script, no destiny written for you, then you alone are responsible for what your life becomes. There's no one-size-fits-all purpose waiting for you. You have to write it yourself. This is why Nietzsche's Ubermensch isn't just an end goal, but a process, a path of continuous self-overcoming. The Ubermensch doesn't wait for someone else to hand down meaning from above. He creates his own values, forges his own path, and lives by his own vision. He isn't ruled by guilt, by fear, or by the opinions of the crowd. He's driven by his own will, his own power, and his own sense of what life should be. But let's be honest, this path isn't for everyone. Most people would rather cling to the illusion of safety than face the vastness of their own freedom. It's easier to believe that purpose is handed to us than to accept the burden of creating it ourselves. So here's the question. Which path will you choose? Will you stay in the comfort of illusion, letting the world define you? Or will you step into the unknown, embracing your inner chaos and using it to build something greater? As we approach the end of this journey, it's time to stop and reflect on everything we've uncovered. We've traveled deep into the human mind, guided by Nietzsche's revolutionary ideas and the forbidden truths of psychology. We've challenged the illusions that shape our identities, questioned the roles we've been assigned, and dared to look into the abyss of our own minds. But this isn't just some intellectual exercise. It's a call to action, a challenge to wake up, to change, to become who you truly are. Nietzsche's philosophy isn't for the faint of heart. It demands courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to embrace discomfort. It asks us to destroy the false identities we've created, to confront the shadows we've buried, and to create our own meaning in a world that can often feel meaningless. It's not an easy path, but it's the only one that leads to real freedom, to true self-discovery. Nietzsche famously wrote, "If you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you." That haunting line perfectly sums up what it means to confront yourself. The abyss isn't just some black hole out there. It's the unknown, the chaos, the parts of ourselves we're too scared to face. It's our hidden fears, our suppressed desires, and the truths we don't want to admit, all locked away in the unconscious. But here's the paradox. The abyss isn't your enemy. It's your mirror. It reflects back everything you've been running from, everything you've denied, everything you have the potential to become. Staring into the abyss means facing the truth about yourself. It's about stripping away illusions, borrowed beliefs, and comforting lies, and standing exposed before your own consciousness. Vulnerable, yes, but also unbelievably powerful. Because when you finally face the abyss, you realize you're not defined by your past, your circumstances, or other people's expectations. You are the creator of your reality. You are the author of your story. But this realization comes with a price. To step into the abyss, you have to let go of everything you thought you knew about yourself. You have to embrace uncertainty, accept chaos, and surrender to the process of becoming. You have to understand that transformation isn't a destination. It's a journey, a never-ending process of self-overcoming. And this is where most people turn back. They look into the abyss, feel the fear, and retreat into the safety of old habits and familiar illusions. They choose comfort over truth, routine over transformation. But you're here watching this video because you sense there's more to life than what you've been told. You feel the pull of something deeper, something more true. The choice is yours. Will you stay in the comfort of illusions, or will you step into the unknown? Will you cling to the roles assigned to you, or will you forge your own path? Will you let society define you, or will you create your own meaning? This isn't a choice you make just once. It's a choice you face every day. Every moment is a new chance to wake up, to transform, and to become who you're meant to be. Nietzsche's idea of the Ubermensch, the higher self, isn't a finish line you cross or a title you achieve. It's a lifelong journey of constantly challenging yourself, destroying old versions of who you were and building something new in their place. It's about having the courage to break free from the inherited beliefs, the labels, and the expectations that have been placed on you since childhood. The courage to ask, is this really who I want to be? Or is this just a role I've been playing for someone else's approval? It's about realizing that chaos isn't your enemy, it's your raw creative power. That inner conflict, that tension between what you were and what you could become, isn't a flaw. It's fuel. The Ubermensch doesn't wait for someone to hand him meaning or purpose. He doesn't follow the herd or try to fit in just to feel safe. He looks into the chaos of his own soul and finds the courage to shape it into something new. He doesn't fear the abyss. He faces it without flinching and lets it transform him. If you've made it this far, if you're still watching, that means something inside you is ready for change. Maybe you've felt the discomfort of living a life that doesn't feel like your own. Maybe you've started to see the cracks in the roles and routines that once made you feel safe. Maybe, just maybe, you're ready to let go of the old script and start writing your own. But you don't have to do this alone. If this video has resonated with you, if it's challenged you, inspired you, or made you think, then share it. Hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let's build a community of people who are committed to self-discovery, growth, and transformation. Let's support each other on this journey, because the path of the Ubermensch is not an easy one, but it is deeply rewarding. And if you're truly ready to take the next step, if you're ready to stop running from your shadow and finally embrace the chaos within, then start today. Start by questioning your beliefs. Start by confronting your fears. Start by taking just one small step toward the person you know you could become. Remember, transformation isn't some grand event that happens overnight. It's the result of small, deliberate choices made day after day. It's a slow, sometimes painful process. But over time, those choices add up to something extraordinary. They add up to a life that's truly your own. So as we wrap up this journey, I want you to hold on to a single thought. You are not who you think you are. You're not just the roles you've been assigned, the labels you've been given, or the expectations you've absorbed from the world around you. You are something greater, something deeper, something truer. You are the creator of your own reality. You are the author of your own story, and the pen is in your hands. So what will you write? Will you keep following the script that was handed to you? Or will you be brave enough to rewrite it? Will you stay in the comfort of illusions? Or will you step into the unknown and see what you're truly capable of? The choice is always yours. But remember, the abyss isn't your enemy, it's your mirror. And once you look into it, you'll never be the same. Thank you for watching. If this message has inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Together, let's create a world full of people who are awake, aware, and unafraid to become who they truly are. Until next time, stay curious, stay courageous, and keep gazing into the abyss.